Welcome back to another episode of River Publishers Podcast. I'm your host, Sadia Anwar, Acquisition Editor at River Publishers. Today, we are incredibly fortunate to have with us Professor Hung Kao, an Associate Professor of Electrical and Biomedical Engineering and Computer Science at UC Irvine, USA. He is here to discuss his upcoming book, Cutting Edge Technologies in Biomedical Sensing and Analysis. Welcome, Professor Kao. We are thrilled to have you with us
Mhm.
today. Your upcoming book delves deep into the exciting world of micro and nanofabrication. Can you share how you foresee these technologies evolving and in turn influencing our healthcare model in the near future?
So I'm actually a micro nano fabrication person. So I have been working in this field for many years. And throughout the years, I see the devices that we can make them smaller and smaller. Let's think about, let's say, for example, like an implant. You implant the body. You don't want it to be too big. Actually, you want it to be smaller and smaller. For some specific organs, like if you want to have a brain implant, for sure, you need to make it very, very small. So in that sense, I see that micro and nanotechnology can change the field because we can create smaller and smaller sensors and devices. So in the future of healthcare, I envision we may have a lot of implants inside our body, not just for patients. Everyone probably would have some, so that we can monitor our health status at any time, anywhere. That would be great, right? But probably right now it's still like I would be too futuristic if I say like it can happen in the next 5 years. But I would expect it happen probably uh, within 10 years.
Moving on to another crucial aspect of healthcare, mobile health, and telemedicine.
Mhm.
Considering the advancement detailed in your book, how transformative do you think mobile health and telemedicine will be for patient care, particularly in less accessible areas?
Yes, so I have to say it would be extremely transformative. Let me tell you another fact. Nowadays, even in third world countries, a lot of people, a lot of people possess a smartphone, right? But among those who like using smartphone, probably not every day, every 5 minutes, many of those actually don't go to a clinic. Why? Because it's too far. Their healthcare system is not that developed. They have nowhere, no means, and also, for some cultural barrier, they don't feel like they need to see a doctor. Okay, so when we talk about mobile health and telemedicine, we want to exploit those, smartphone network like 5G, and if we can incorporate our devices to work with those, then we can bring the monitoring system to everyone, everywhere. Let's say a person, in my group, we're working on a system to monitor the fetus and the pregnant mom in the home setting. Think about it. Even in the United States nowadays, at the later stage of pregnancy, a mom would need to go and see the doctor probably 2 or 3 times a week in the last 2 months for regular checkup, heart rate of the baby, ultrasound, and everything. And with M Health, with mobile health and telemedicine that we are talking about, that many groups are developing, we can really transform that. So the people don't have to go to clinics. Pregnant mom don't need to see OB, as much as they have to do, and they still get full monitoring, even with better monitoring, because now we have AI system which can help, you know, give warnings. We can help detect some sort of anomaly. Uh, so that would be great. That's why I think mobile health and telemedicine would be extremely transformative in the next decade.
Absolutely, the potential there is remarkable. Building on to that, can you share a real world scenario where the IoT and machine learning, as discussed in your book, might redefine health monitoring practices?
Thanks for the question. Actually, there are many, but let me give an example, more like something that is very close to our work. So we have been talking about cardiac patients, who have problem with the hearts, and usually they have to, book an appointment. Sometimes, because with some sort of chronic disease, it's not like urgent. So sometimes you have to wait like 3 months to see a doctor. And when the doctor would do like record your electrocardiogram or EKG, ECG, yeah, and then diagnose that to say, oh, um, your ECG has been improving this time based on what we see. Uh, the ECG has been bad these days. Probably we need to check more, and all of those kind of things. If let's say if we have the devices that we discuss in the book, to have monitor, and then the device can have internet connection capacity and send the data to a cloud system where machine learning program can analyze the data in real time. So instead of having your signal, your EKG recorded and analyzed by a doctor once after 3 months of making the appointment, you can have that thing done in real time, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And nowadays, actually, I would say we are very close. The reason we are not that close because of some sort of regulation barrier, like patient privacy, and also the accuracy of the diagnosis using machine learning. Yeah. So some companies, they have been working around, like saying, oh, we only give advice, we don't really diagnose. So they can pass that barrier, and they have been doing. But I have been saying that our healthcare system, we need to make the regulation a bit, less strict, so that we can, push forward this thing. And I would see that remote patient monitoring and with machine learning for prediction and prevention would redefine the health monitoring practice, because we would move more into preventive health, right? We have been talking, everyone have been hearing about preventive health, but how we do? So we need to have precise machine learning model that can predict and tell you, and not just like disease. We can think of something like, machine learning can help detect your signal and see the trend of your signal, so that can give you good advice on your diet and exercise. Because you have been eating bad foods, have been, lazy in exercising. That's why all your signals have been going bad, and the machine learning program can detect that and give you good advice. That's something I can see.
That scenario definitely highlight the significant impact these technologies can have. Lastly, of all the technological discussions in cutting edge technologies in biological sensing and analysis, which is your book, which one stand out to you as the most impactful for human health?
I would try to be not biased here, because our group also contributes several chapters, and this is neutral, but I see this technology. So one of the chapters, chapter 2, is about the analysis methods and clinical application of circulating cell-free DNA and RNA in human blood tests, basically DNA tests. Actually, I have been seeing this as a fascinating thing, that eventually it would be the most impactful for human health, even before a person is born. Because you know the DNA, you know the environment that the person is going to be born. You do the test and you can analyze. You even know before a person is born, you would know how would be the best foods for the person to eat to improve the health. What would be the best sport that a person can play? Those kind of things actually would be feasible in the future soon. A lot of companies, they have been trying to do, like, to give you advices on what kind of supplements you should take, what kind of foods you should take by doing blood tests. And I'm seeing this as like, not only all of these tests can help you detect the potential disease, but also can help you shape your lifestyle, what you should do to be best. to give the best to you. And also the other thing is like, if something happened, like, you have a disease. So I don't believe that one medication would work for all people. Everything needs to be personalized. Yeah, we have been talking about personalized medicine today. So all of these blood tests would have the personalized medicine, also personalized lifestyle, foods, exercise, and everything. I at that I don't know if we reach that, then probably we're gonna hit a lot of new barriers. Like we create up some group of people who are identical because everyone's like disease free, play the same sport, eat the same foods. I don't know, but the technology actually has the capacity to tell that. Yeah.
This is very, very interesting.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that. It has been incredibly enlightening discussing these topics with you. Professor Kao, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Thank you for this collaboration, for making this book become true. Thank you.
And thank you to our listeners to joining us today. Be sure to check out Professor Kao's upcoming book, Cutting Edge Technologies in Biological Sensing and Analysis. And stay tuned for our next episodes. Goodbye and take care.